everyone, welcome back to another Ask Robyn. We're here at the Hub in our office turned playroom, and we are very excited to do another Ask Robyn. How are you going, Robyn?
Good, yourself?
Yes,
Yeah,
great.
bring it on.
So great. Okay, let's dig in. So today's question is, we don't know the age of the child, but the question is, how do we know that it's separation anxiety and how can we help?
Yes, I think there's two parts to this question.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about separation and we're going to talk about anxiety. I'll start with anxiety.
Okay.
We actually need to be...
I'm anxious about what you're saying.
We need to be anxious. We need to... If we weren't anxious,
Yeah.
we wouldn't get up in the morning to go to work. You wouldn't even care about my answer to this question. You'd be
Okay.
like, who cares?
Okay.
You'd be so carefree
Yeah.
that you wouldn't be motivated, you wouldn't have that eagerness to achieve anything.
Okay.
So anxiety runs on like a bell-shaped curve. Low anxiety is just as distracting, it sort of impacts our life as high anxiety does. So it's about finding optimal level of anxiety. Like when we work with athletes, we wear headphones for music that gets us to optimal level of anxiety.
Like the pump up.
Yeah, right. You'd even find when, well, there's a thing that I don't like doing in my business is invoicing. Hate it. So I have to get my body to an optimal level of anxiety. Not stressing too much about invoicing, but not caring. Like I need to care a little bit to make it happen. We are always trying to find this balance of where do I get to the optimal level of anxiety.
Okay.
And kids are the same. If your kid is so super chilled, that worries me as a therapist sometimes because they're not motivated to learn. They're not motivated to try new things.
Yeah.
Similar, if we're over anxious, we're worried about mistakes and we're worried about things being perfect. So
Yeah.
when we're looking at anxiety as a whole, I think it's important that we normalise that we need anxiety, an element of anxiety.
Okay.
But it's
So
a
anxiety is
healthy
not necessarily bad.
Yes, and I think so many times like we're trying to avoid our anxiety or avoid our children feeling anxious. It's a part of our human behaviour to have a level of anxiety.
Okay.
With the separation part, a child under the age of 3 is designed to miss their caregiver. Like they're designed to be anxious about you leaving. It's actually sometimes a good sign for us that they care that you're leaving them under the age of 3.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes parents expect that, well, we can just drop them off and it'll be a comfortable moment. It's going to cause discomfort for both of you because biologically we're designed under the age of 3 to be with our tribe, to be included with our caregivers. And now it's not to say don't drop your child off to people that you care for or people that love them, but it's about knowing that there will be an element of discomfort in that.
Okay.
It's expected. It's part of that journey. But it's trying to find ways where we work with it, where we support both, but it actually starts with us. And that's the tricky part.
That is the tricky part.
It's
because there's so many feelings associated with, say, a drop off as a parent.
Yeah, and in the morning, you'd already be stressing about it. Probably the night before, stressing about it. We also feel like other people in our community are judging us, which they're not. They're in their own anxious moment. But we have that thought, what if my child throws himself on the floor? What if my child screams in the car park? So we're already anxious leading up to that moment. And oftentimes we're not sort of working on our own anxiety. And that's why here at the Hub we do vagus nerve activities so much, because the vagus nerve is a long nerve, goes behind the back of your cheekbones, into your throat, chest and gut. We use that nerve to keep us settled, but we need to do that first. And that's what we often forget, because we're just like, push through, you'll be right, like all those sort of old school ideas. Where the greatest thing we can do is admit to it, I'm feeling a bit nervous right now, or my tummy has butterflies right now. And then I often say to my kids who don't like separating from me either, when I feel nervous or when I feel anxious, I like to. And some of the things that I like to do, I like to suck on peppermints in the car. Now, getting a 2-year-old to suck on peppermints isn't great, but ice cubes, they can suck on ice cubes in the car. When I'm nervous, I really like to listen to music. We play music in the car. I think what we need to be really mindful of is giving children a toolkit around their anxiety, but we have to have a toolkit too. And even some things I'm noticing at the moment is some families have the radio on with the news every morning. That's not making us feel calm. Even having the news on in the background at home. That's not to say we don't want to be informed, but in those moments where we're feeling anxious, can we choose music that makes us feel good? Ice cubes that makes us feel good? That's what we want to try and work on with separation anxiety.
Okay.
And it's a typical part of development.
That's an us thing.
Well, we
play a part. And then what about older kids? So obviously it's more the toolkit specific to them in those older years.
Yeah, and talking about it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we came from a generation where don't feel.
Yeah.
Don't feel anything.
Yeah, move on, keep going, push through.
Yeah, bottle it, push it down, push it down.
Yeah.
Don't make anyone else feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But an element of human behaviour is we're all going to have discomfort throughout the day. I don't think I've ever had a full 100% satisfied happy day. That's not human living.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reminding children that this is a really tricky moment, but once you get to kinder, you're going to do their favourite activity, painting, scavenger hunt, hide and seek. We're going to make the tone of the drop-off fun and the tone be positive and acknowledge it's okay to feel nervous. I'm coming back after lunch, or whatever you need to say. But I think sometimes parents just don't want their children to feel discomfort. So we'll try anything they can to avoid it. That's similar to our generation being told, push it down, push it down. So the research really shows validate it. It's okay that you're feeling anxious. This is what helps me. And then eventually children will find what helps them.
Yes. I'm going through it with my nearly 3-year-old. But what I've found helpful, particularly at drop-off, is the caregiver being really helpful for me.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like if you're in a similar boat, finding a place that will support you through, on top of having the toolkit and, you know, being mindful yourself and all those things, but it's really important to have that support, because I've had another scenario where I didn't have that support and then it just kind of catapulted into distress. So having someone patient, support, and, you know, conversations like this to remind me that it's okay, this is normal, it's a good sign that she's getting upset to some extent.
Because it's showing that you have an attachment to her. You're an important part of her life. As therapists, we sometimes feel nervous if children don't have that attachment. Where they'll, you know, I shouldn't be a friend to everyone. When I come into the room, I am a stranger. So I'm expecting them to be nervous of me. That's actually a really positive sign of development. And so instead of apologising for the child not coming up and saying hello to me or coming into my arms straight away, it's actually really healthy that they're not. And I think when you build up that rapport as a caregiver or a therapist, it's we just knowing typical human behaviour helps all of us feel like this is a journey that we're expecting to be on. You're not getting judged by.
No, it's not always, as much as you see online, it's not always rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
In fact, it's probably the opposite. The harder time, there are more hard and more challenges and more anxious inducing times, and there are really great ones.
But in those moments, I feel you get growth.
100%.
You get confidence because you're like, look what we smashed that challenge today. That felt good. Where if everything was smooth sailing, you don't get that joy. So if I can say anything, in the car, on the way, try and find something that you both feel relaxed with. That might be singing, blowing bubbles, sucking on ice cubes, counting how many clouds are in the sky for the child, not for you, you're driving. But those moments, you know, even we play a game of Spotto's where you find the yellow car, something that is joyful for both of you, rather than us hitting that moment of something negative's going to happen. But good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We hope that answered your question. Bring in the questions. We love sitting here talking all this stuff because we're both learning as well. So thank you, and we hope you have a great day. Follow along with us on the Parents Hub and Play Move Improve. Bye.